So I'm Dean.
I'm CYPHRE.
And this week we're going to go over the WE F226. Or the Sig P226.
We'll go into later what that F stands for, Mike.
So first things first, why don't we go over the basics. For once, we actually did a decent job with the box.
It's amazing.
Full color.
Taking a picture in a KWA's book to make a fancy box.
Yeah. Even misspelling some Marine jargon.
Yeah, I was like, ooh yeah.
Ooh yeah. Should be
yeah.
hoorah. So, pretty funny, but nicer box for once. So,
yep.
None of that.
And actually a manual with English in it this time. I was like, holy crap, it's like, it tells me how to load the gun.
4 pages with 5 languages on each page.
Yeah, so every single direction, yeah.
So and it's got an exploded view, so you'll be able to do.
Yeah, that is also something they must have taken out of Casey. It was all the parts list. Because you might need replacement parts for this gun.
Just saying. So let's get right into it. The gun aesthetically is pleasing, save for the orange tip. That was one drawback. WE has been pretty good about most commonly having a threaded tip that is removable. This is kind of like they just glued a tip on the end of the barrel.
It actually slides in somewhat. We're not sure how exactly we haven't tried it yet, but we assume it just kind of press fit in there with maybe some glue because it doesn't move at all right now.
Right. If you've ever seen some of the old WE high kappas that had the plastic tip rather than the thread, they were pressed in. It's probably something similar to those.
That is metal though.
Yeah, it's a metal tip. Kind of makes it look like the old Springers.
Yeah, that's kind of a Springer thing.
So, does have a rail underneath, just like the real steel should. Has a functioning decocker built into it, so if your hammer's here, so it makes it easier so you don't have to, take the mag out, pull the trigger. Has some trades on it, not real steel. On this side it says F226 in the grip. We'll try and get you a close-up. And on this side it says SEAL Team 6.
SEAL Team 6, yeah! It's gonna kill Osama!
So, overall, aesthetically, I'm very pleased with it. Not the best gun in the world aesthetically. KGW did a SIG that looks pretty similar, except for no trades on the grip.
Similar, actually.
I wonder why that is.
Overall, though, the looks are pretty good. The fit and finish are pretty good. They still have that slight gray tint to the slide, like the Glocks and all their other newer guns started having. But it's not bad. It's barely noticeable. Very solid design, though. I mean,
it's similar to the blued steel of a real gun, anyways.
No, it isn't. Because it's the same finish in the frame. But overall, really nice. Pretty solid together gun.
You don't get that rattle when you shake it like you do with some other guns.
Barely. But just assembles like the real steel. Blah 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 blah. Good sights, shoots. It's based on the 226, the Sig P226, which was developed in the 1980s as part of the XM9 development program for the military sidearm. They were adopting a new sidearm, which ended up being the Beretta, but mostly for cost reasons. But it did meet all the specifications of the military.
Now, a lot of law enforcement agencies, a lot of military agencies still use and seek out this gun. A lot of times they'll lose out to the Glock or a 1911 or an M9 due to cost.
Yeah, because it's not a cheap gun in the real steel. It's actually quite expensive because you're talking about a good $900 for a new one and $600 or more for one used. Because they're pretty much perfect used, and most people actually buy the used one because the German version of this had a lot better QC than the newer ones.
But overall, I mean, the Sig was a well-made gun, developed and used to this day.
Thousands and thousands of law enforcement agents all across the world use this gun because it is just that reliable and just that good.
Right.
This, of course, is made in Taiwan, and so it's not used by anybody.
The gun itself, it's made by WE, as we said. They do have some good design points they've been keeping up with. Some other things are lacking, like their hop-up system.
Yeah, they started using the same hop-up in all their guns, and in this case, it's kind of a toss-up whether or not it works properly, and it'll just kind of fail. So other people have thought of random solutions like pinning the little hop-up wheel so it doesn't move when you fire after extended firing.
Yeah, when we first test fired it, we found that the hop-up actually moves when using it. So we were able to get it to where it doesn't move, but the hop-up is now basically in a fixed position.
Well, no, I mean it's effectively good for a game, but after the game you have to readjust the hop up. That's something they themselves discovered this and made a pin that fits in a little tiny hole inside there that stops the wheel from moving. Not a bad design either, but it's just not that not quite as robust as KWA or Togi Marui or those brands. And unfortunately, it's not compatible with Togi Marui.
Yeah, it is. So, it's got its own parts, so
we're thinking it might be based on the KGW because that was the other design which is not based on Marui, but it cannot take Marui magazines or parts as far as we know. I assume you could probably get other parts to work, but it's not built for it.
Right.
Which is unfortunate.
And we haven't really seen any upgrade parts come out. I haven't seen a Type 4 come out. I haven't seen an upgrade hop-up.
Yeah, I've actually barely seen this on sale anywhere in the first place. Airsplat has it, I think. I don't even think the other locals have it. And I've only seen it on one overseas site so far.
Yeah, I haven't seen it at EVIC, and I have not seen it at GI. I haven't checked Megastore, though.
Yeah, I kind of doubt Megastore. But I think only Red Wolf is the only one who had it overseas. We're just like, okay, well, I guess... We think they had some production problems because this is actually second run batch, which is improved from the first one.
As far as visual quality.
Visual and some structural quality. I guess they had some problems with the slide cracking on the original because of structural weakness in the back of the slide.
Yeah, you'd go to fire it and then the whole front end of the slide would just go. And you're kind of left sitting there.
Yeah, so they improved that. Unfortunately, they didn't improve anything else. We had some problems test firing it because these were kind of falling out of the barrel. Kind of double feeding because it wasn't just firing properly.
Yeah, and that's what led us to find the hop-up issue. So
yeah,
we are still going to get this down range to try and get you an FPS on the gun, and we'll also do a teardown on this for you, so you can see how it tears down.
Pretty easy though.
Yeah, fairly easy. So, well, first let's get it on the bench so they can see how it tears down. Then we'll take it downfield.
Sounds good.
Alright, so we have this on the bench. We're going to do a quick teardown on this so you can see how it functions and maybe get some more detail on it. First thing, remove this magazine. Put it right there. First thing you want to do when you're doing your field strip on this, you're going to push it back. There's a little notch right here. Push it back there to where that little latch lines up with it. Then you're able to pull it right off. And what happens, I don't know if we can zoom in on this or if it can be seen clearly, this little flat piece right here at the end where my finger is, turns. So similar to how the M9 works, we'll just release it. So there's your lower. Now your upper, again, similar to an M9 teardown, you pull the guide rod out. And that's your basic teardown. Now the hop-up, see if we can get a close in on it. You can see the hop-up wheel there. So the hop-up wheel, it's easily adjustable. It moves really easy, so that's what we were saying when the hop-up's really loose. Basic assembly parts are pretty nice. They actually machine the top of this so it doesn't just wear down while you're using it. But for reassembly, it's pretty much just exact opposite. You're going to put the spring and guide rod back in, hold it in place, put your outer barrel assembly back in, and then your inner barrel assembly and hop-up assembly back in. There's a little hole that the guide rod lines up into the hop-up assembly. Make sure you get your inner barrel and outer barrel lined up together properly. Because if not, they don't function right and they don't go back together. Okay, so there's your upper put back together. Then to reassemble it, you just put it on the slide, flip the switch back into position. Don't worry, it is going to be stiff. There you go. Also to show you the working decocker closer, you have it back, releases it. Now if we can show you here, I don't know if you can see it, the F226 in the grip. And then on the other side, the SEAL Team 6. But that's your basic teardown. So we're going to go ahead and get this down range and show you what it can do. Alright, so we got this pistol down range. It performed fairly decent. It didn't give us too much trouble, so hop up, averaging about 290.
Yeah, which is pretty standard for their newer line of pistols. The Glock was running 292, even with green or propane. So you're still looking 280 or so.
Yeah,
green gas?
with green gas, probably right around 280.
Pretty good kick though, really heavy duty kick, but really kind of weak coming out of the barrel there. It's kind of a concern.
Yeah. The other thing, the teardown is really simple. If you're not used to the SIG, it can be problematic on the little receiver pin.
Yeah, it's a little stiff getting in because it's not exactly aligned properly with that cutout, technically speaking. Because the cutout is specifically intended to allow this tiny little notch to spin around, otherwise it locks up against the slide. So,
unfortunately, it's not accurate with that. Now,
yeah.
we do have it loaded with gas right now, so well, Cypher, why don't you bring it here in the light so they can actually see the slide function when you fire it.
It's pretty nice. Very, where's gas ready? Decocker, that doesn't work completely. Okay, well, decocker mostly works. It works as well as every other decocker has worked in the history of Airsoft, unfortunately, which means it doesn't actually make the gun safe.
No, it just kind of fires a bead.
Because this hammer is fake like every other Airsoft gun. So, technically speaking, there's a little tiny hammer which pushes the pin, that's what gets cocked back. Anyway. So, kick's pretty good, but they're really getting weak. They're trying to do a gas conservation that way, so you get more out of a magazine. We still only got a mag and a half, probably, 2 mags maybe at the most.
I think it was a mag and a half at most.
Yeah, of good shots out of it. Just, I mean, it is a smaller magazine.
Yeah, it's a lot narrower than the Glock was, yeah, which is amazing because it's a big grip. I mean, feeling the grip, it's similar to an M9. It's fat.
Not that fat, okay?
I said similar, not exactly. It's not like the M93R.
No, it's not close to the M9 at all, trust me. It's more like me.
Excuse me while I go vomit.
I had to do it because, you know, our good buddy Dean here is over at M9. Anyway, the grip is pretty traditional because they actually concentrate more on ergonomics rather than fitting a magazine in a plastic tube like the Glock is. Because the Glock is a magazine with some plastic wrapped around it really tightly and it's pretty boxy. And this is much more rounded and ergonomic, which is
for a more comfortable grip.
Right. So that's why it's one of the popular guns, because it is very ergonomic overall. Very nice thickness, pretty good overall. Plastics in the grip aren't that bad. I guess the first batch was also bad in that regard.
Yeah, the first batch was really plasticky. I picked one up and I was not impressed and I returned it. So when this one came out, when it was a new batch, I decided I'll give it another shot. I'll probably hold on to it for the shop uses and try and see if we can get it working better.
Yeah, see what else fits with it. Hopefully KJ mags fit, because otherwise, I mean, maybe those mags are a little better on their what they can hold and their seals and all that. I wouldn't trust these that well because we had a little bit of leakage too. Probably not the greatest seals in general. We had some problems when we opened the box too. I mean, the thread of the box, it was double feeding and had pretty bad. Wasn't firing.
Yeah, it just pulled the trigger, nothing happened.
Nothing happened. I was like, oh, great.
So we did a little maintenance, a little bit of lubrication, got it functioning.
Works fine now, but the hop up is the weak point again, which I think is kind of the problem with some of the other guns too.
The price point's not bad. It's 110, which is right on par with most of the SIGs out there. You compare it to the KJW SIG at 99 and the Palco SIG at 130. So it's right in the midpoint. Pricing's not bad. Functionality is decent. The hop up is where it loses for me as well. Yeah. And this orange tip.
But you just saw that off.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to. It's nice that the older stuff's able to be threaded, so you can put additional parts on and not.
Yeah, and there's no real. I haven't seen anything. We don't know if any of the market has replacement barrels, but it's a nice metal at least. I mean, I wouldn't mind just yanking the tip right off of it. I wouldn't care. Yeah, otherwise, step up to Marui or KWA because this is just not there to me. I mean, none of the current P226s are there by my standards. Yeah, fortunately.
In my general opinion on this one, I'm going to go with a 6.
Yeah.
It's a decent gun. If you really like SIGs, you'll probably like it. Functionality's there if you can deal with maintenance on it. But out-of-the-box performance, we've seen it with WE on other guns. They have out-of-the-box performance. This one didn't really have it.
Right.
So I'm going to stick with the 6 on my opinion.
And I'm sticking with the same number 6. I was disappointed with performance. Overall, construction's great. Externals are nice. Fitment is pretty tight. Not bad overall. I'm disappointed they did not go with Marui's design because I would have made aftermarket parts a breeze.
Yeah.
Because that's been out for years now. So unfortunately, it's kind of a disappointment in that area. And performance, which was kind of a failure out of the box. So that's what the F stands for. Faulty. Or whatever other 4-letter word you can think of.
Insert vowels here.
Yeah, so it's kind of a disappointment. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I was not impressed with it. For the second generation of it, I thought it would be a little bit better, but
here's hoping, you know, maybe it's KJ parts, I don't know, or there's some aftermarket for it, but it's barely sold. I don't know.
Yeah, not many people are carrying it yet.
Sure, so why. Well, we assume why.
Yeah. But for this review, I'm Dean.
I'm CYPHRE.
Remember, play hard,
play safe.
We hope you like the videos. We are the Airsoft Gurus. Remember to go ahead and click subscribe up in that corner. Don't forget to like right there. Yeah, where CYPHRE's pointing. Remember, right above us right here, you can see more videos from us.
Well, a lot of our videos actually show up on the sidebar now. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, very nice. Don't forget, you can also find our Facebook page, the Airsoft Gurus, right in the comments below, along with our Twitter and our email address.
We do update every video on our Facebook page, so they'll be up to date anytime.
Absolutely, you can watch them at any time there. Remember, we are the Airsoft Gurus. Play hard, play safe.